Last time on Our Fair City, the brave crew of the Lightning Rig Stormhawk find themselves staring into the cruelest storm in a century.
Now listen up! I've attached explosives to the side of this rig and I will blow us all up!
Ozone, hit the deck!
And let's go!
Kid's been hit! It's gonna bring us down!
Our Fair City is performing live at the Chicago Fringe Festival, September 2013. Learn more and listen for free at OurFairCity.com.
Welcome once again to the FwdCompatible podcast. This is episode 82, part 2, for September 1st, 2013. My name's Tony, and I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Jason, Mark, and Moses.
Part 2 is the best 2.
This is, of course, part 2. In the event you have yet to do so, please do click out or pause the video. It really doesn't matter. Check out part 1, where we do cover the week's news, as well as answer the viewers' burning questions for the week.
So burning.
Now, normally, I do take care of the topic of the week here in part 2, but today, we're going to do something a little bit different.
Moss is topic of the week.
I like the song.
I
It's
added
exceptional.
a little
Exceptional.
bonus. With all of the news that happened this week with Nintendo, so all of the Nintendo news is the topic of the week, and since I was making my triumphant return to the podcast,
It has been many months.
like 7 weeks,
Whatever.
but
Feels like longer.
let's like jump the right first into time. it. So, the big news, well, one of the big news, weeks after announcing that there will be no price cut for the Nintendo Wii U, there was a price cut for the Nintendo Wii U.
They were so adamant about there being no upcoming price cut. I don't know how I feel about this, because it is a price cut, sort of. There was a Wii U available for $300. It's not like this, that this was a significant price drop of something that wasn't attainable previously.
Right.
I realize you're getting a different color and a 3 times bigger hard drive.
4. It's a 8.
Oh, 32. Yeah, excuse me.
Still too small. But...
And, you're getting the black coloring, and you are getting a free pack in game. Depending on the bundle you get, it could either be Nintendo Land or the upcoming Zelda game. So, go ahead, sorry.
Your thoughts, Jason?
Oh, I'm like, okay, I was you're working the beard, that's all. So it's kind of funny that they pulled up a Microsoft a little bit and kind of went back on what they said. I think my big problem with it is that for me it's not quite enough price wise. I really have to be under that $300 mark with just financially for myself with where I'm at. I think it's great that they're packaging in a more significant title.
Yeah.
That does add a lot of value to it, but it's still I'm not quite sold just yet.
I'm also just wondering if 3 weeks ago, it was about 3 weeks ago when they said they weren't going to price drop it. Were they actually sure they were going to price drop it, or were they just kind of in between at the time and the decision got passed down to drop it?
Nintendo's an awfully big company. These things don't just get shoved out overnight. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have to talk about it and decide whether or not it's coming. They've known about this for months.
And they just didn't want to kill sales for 3 weeks?
They can't say anything. Of course the guy's got to say, no, there's no price cut coming, because...
It would have been for 6 weeks
if
then
there's
of, no sales, because everyone would have been waiting for the drop.
Yeah, if there's that 3 or 4 month, or 3 or 4 week, period where they're considering it, you want that additional 4 weeks of sales at your retail price at that current moment. You don't want to suggest that a price drop is coming. Right. People just wait like they're doing now, which...
That's the next one. The price cut
has not gone into effect and will not go into effect until September 20th.
Yeah, so we got 3 weeks.
So why?
Yeah,
Killing
you
sales
just
for
killed.
3 weeks.
Yeah, you killed sales for 3 weeks.
Sony, when they did the Vita cut, was go now.
That's how
you can go right now and get it.
That's how every price cut in the history of price cuts has worked. It's today or tomorrow if you're at a big live show. Like, okay, it's the drop's coming tomorrow. That's how you do it.
The only reason I see why they would do that is, so one of the bundles is the upcoming remake or HD remake of the Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and they can't do it right now because that game's not ready yet or not out. And if they waited, then they're trying to prevent somewhat, I think, of the backlash of like people who bought a Wii U in the last 3 months sort of got screwed because not much has come out in that period, a few games, and now you want the Wii U, the Wind Waker version.
Sure, but from a technology standpoint, things like that happen all the time.
Yeah,
you can go out tomorrow and get yourself the brand new iPhone 5. Okay, granted it's been out for a year. Okay, in 2 weeks they're announcing the new one. It happens. If you're not savvy enough to kind of keep with it, it would almost be counter beneficial to Nintendo to not bundle in the Zelda title with the system, regardless of the price cut. So I was expecting something from the get-go, especially with it not being a new title, but a remake, an HD remake. I fully expected going into holiday season for them to slap one of their biggest titles in with the system to help move units.
I think that's a weird example, though, because, I mean, Apple has a very well put together ecosystem where if you do get the iPhone 5 and then you decide to upgrade later, all of your stuff is transferring over. Like with the Wii U, it's different because if, like you said, you bought one 3 months ago, started collecting a bunch of digital games and stuff, Nintendo hasn't set it up where your new Wii U will get any of the games that you just bought. You're kind of losing out on. It's kind of like getting double screwed. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I get where you stated was kind of a bad analogy in some regards, but they are still having a standalone copy of the game. It's not like this is the only way to get Wind Waker.
Yeah.
But it's 2 weeks early.
It is 2 weeks early.
So this brings me to the next point, and I think there's a lot of confusion and somewhat anger amongst Zelda fans. And so this is going to be a little complicated, but all the different variations of the Wind Waker HD that
Are you listing them, or are we going one by one?
I'm going to list them.
Okay.
One by one. So on September 20th, you can get the Nintendo Wii U brand new bundle for $299.99 of that comes with the 32 gig Wii U and a digital copy of the Wind Waker Wii U. Presumably it's pre-installed or whatnot.
I would really hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that bundle, you get a digital copy of Hyrule Historia, the book.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that. That's pretty cool.
The weird thing with this is like, okay, this is clearly focused at the huge Zelda faithful, right? When I want to collect stuff, you typically want something to look at, like a physical copy. You know what I mean? I just don't know if...
Well, you would have your physical unit.
That's what... I don't know, I just don't know if that... Like, don't you want to look at the Zelda casing on your shelf?
Oh,
if you're that big of a Zelda fan where you're going to run out, pre-order this, you're going to be one of the early adopters of this new bundle. Don't you want the physical copy on your wall?
yeah.
And if you're not going to give...
it's weird. It's
and
weird.
if you're not going to give the box, why not have... If you're going to do a bundle, why not at least put a graphic on it? I mean, it's not going to cost them much of anything to put a little Triforce on even this big on the corner of the system.
Well, it's on the gamepad.
It is on the gamepad.
The gamepad has an emblem all around it. It's got
He's talking about the physical thing.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, I would like it on the console too. I think it would be kind of cool. Like what they did with the Mario Wii, the red Wii. It had the little mushroom, the black star, and
I like the little marking. I wish they would have gone one step further. I would have liked the gold gamepad.
That would have been awesome.
I think that would have been nice.
Black and gold.
And
Steelers fans unite.
This is the beginning of the weirdness of this, because if you're a big Zelda fan and you've been waiting for a Zelda game to come out or again not whatever, and it's like, oh, finally a bundle. Oh, but we don't get a physical copy.
Yeah, it's digital.
Yeah,
for the collector. So Nintendo has. I'll get into this a little bit, but they always have a way of getting Zelda fans to rebuy the same stuff. And in this case, if you're that fan that you're a collector, you're going to get the Wii U bundle, and you're going to get the physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
But so now, if you already have a Wii U, you could buy a copy of the Wind Waker HD digitally on September 20th for $49.99. I mean, not $59.99. So
Okay.
it is an HD remake, which is nice.
The original retail price of the game.
Yes. So
Just
now,
throwing that out there.
but now, if you own a Wii U already and you want a physical copy, you can't get it on September 20th. Instead, you'll have to wait until October 4th, 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
to get the physical copy. Your thoughts on a delayed physical copy release?
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Usually it's the other way around. You can get the physical copy, and a few days later, they will release the digital version. They've been getting an awful lot better with it lately. Sometimes you're getting same day or a few hours later. I think Nintendo's making an awful big push for digital nowadays. I think they want it to be like that not only on the Wii U, but with the 3DS as well. I think there's been a major push for it as of late, and this is the next step for them.
I was about to say I agree with that I think they're trying to push that digital sale of it so they can, show the benefit. You get a whole 2 weeks. 1 week, not that big of a deal. You put 2 weeks in there, even longer, before the physical copy comes out, you're going to start grabbing people over.
That's a long time. 2 weeks is long. I
Yeah.
can see 2 or 3 days.
Do we
That's a
know the file size for the digital?
I'm not sure, but look, if you're going to buy a Wii U and you're going to be downloading games, you're going to need a hard drive regardless. So
Yeah, the firmware update takes up 5 gigs, doesn't it?
If you're buying a Wii U and you're planning on using it to store your games, just presume you're going to need a terabyte hard drive and add that to your
I'm
cost.
looking at it from the perspective, if I was an early adapter of the Wii, which unfortunately I wasn't, but I could only afford the standard edition of the console, and I really wanted the Zelda game, I'd feel a little upset if I have to wait or, like you said, buy a hard drive.
Making it like $150, game.
To play the game early, or whenever it's coming out, or wait for that
That's
physical.
a good point. I don't know if I'd have to look that up. I don't know if you can even download the Wind Waker HD if you have the basic edition.
Yeah.
So
Potentially.
Well,
that's a problem.
can't you just format obviously it's a better idea to go ahead and get a 500 gig or a terabyte so you're future proof.
Yeah.
But if it's just for
So
that
that
one
you're
game,
forward compatible.
can't you just use a flash drive
I
for the one game?
Yeah,
Flash drives are cheap. You can get 32 gig for whatever, like $20.
no. I think can't you save it on an SD card?
That's
Maybe.
another option. That's what I'm saying. There's workarounds. Again, when you wanted to
That's-
buy your next title, now you have
That's
problems again. But
what Halo 4 had to do when it launched, because for multiplayer you had 4 gig mandatory install. So
Yeah,
everyone
people
with
that
a
had
4
that
gig
one
console, you couldn't even
It's
play.
unplayable.
It's
for a certain
unplayable
set.
for you. I sold flash, like little thumb drives all the time that week. So just because of it.
So, if you want a physical copy, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks later till October 4th. And now there's the other problem where GameStop exclusive has a collector or a limited edition where you get for $10 more, you get a Ganondorf figurine. And GameStop does this all the time.
Yeah.
But there is no figurine giveaway if you get the Wii U bundle. So you can't pay $10 more and get the Ganondorf. So, if you are if
That's
you're a
a third
collector,
item.
if
Theoretically, yourself.
myself, well, I'm crazy collector, so I have a Wii U already, and luckily I'm gonna get a press copy of the game, so I don't have to worry about buying the digital version.
Mm-hmm.
But
you may still buy the digital version just to have,
yeah, I don't know if I'll go that far with.
and then the collectors.
If I was just a crazy collector, though,
Mhm.
I would have to buy the digital version because I would want to play it ahead of time.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to buy the
You
bundle.
don't want to wait.
Well, I'm going to buy the Wii U bundle, even though I have a Wii U already. But that thing is never going to be opened. You crazy? So,
I'm surprised you're not getting two: one to utilize and one to just leave sealed.
but then, so you get the digital version to play the game. You get the bundle if you're crazy enough because you want it packed. And
Like
then,
yourself.
And then you have to get the physical copy of the game 2 weeks later, so you get the figurine. And it's just, how many times are you going to buy the same game?
Yeah.
Many times as you and other collectors will allow.
And there's no way to get the bundle, the Wii U bundle, and the figurine without buying the game twice. And Nintendo did this on purpose, I think, because the easy solution would be, buy the Wii U bundle, and maybe for $10 more, $15 more, whatever, then we'll give you the figurine as well.
I mean, it's, in my opinion, charging an extra $10 for the figure, which should be a pre-order bonus, is kind of absurd.
That's
It depends how big the figurine is.
5 inches.
it's small.
It's plastic.
And this is one thing that's very misleading too. I don't know if this was an error or GameStop just in the Nintendo press release. It states that for $5 more at a price of $54.99 you can get the collector's edition. Mm-hmm. But GameStop is charging $59.99.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a suggested retail price or whatever, but
The other thing that's worrisome to me is it sounds like the digital version and the physical copy are going to cost the same, right?
yes, they're both $50.
I see that. I still don't like.
I
still don't like that with anything digital, not just with this particular game. But especially in this case, because like I was saying earlier, what if your Wii U breaks?
Yeah.
You lost your copy.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, Nintendo has yet.
But if
I
you
think
get,
they will find that
if you
solution,
get the physical copy, and your Wii U breaks, you buy a new Wii U, you're all set. You just transfer your disc over. You probably lost your save, but that's it.
And
You
I
didn't
mean,
lose a $50 game.
On top of that, that plays into things that we've touched base on several times. Is you're going to charge full retail for a digital copy of the game when you're not paying for production costs, shipping,
disking, printing.
It's all right. You guys will learn eventually. PC games have been doing this where they're $10 cheaper. For those kind of specific reasons. So you'll learn eventually.
You have fun playing Legend of Zelda on PC.
That's easy for me.
Mm-hmm. So moving on, other Wii U related news. I think we touched upon the launch lineup the holiday lineup. We do have some hard dates though. Super Mario 3D World, November 22nd. Mm-hmm. Just before Black Friday. So
I don't agree with that date.
I don't either,
Do
actually.
you want to continue going
not?
through
Go
the list?
ahead. What's wrong with that date?
I think
I agree with them actually.
it's outside of that sweet spot.
Too late.
Too late. By then, you will have already launched your competitors' 2 major consoles, Call of Duty, and a plethora of other AAA titles. And you're literally 3 days before Black Friday.
Yeah, I believe it's a Friday. All their games are on Friday.
Yeah, which is another odd
I think it's
thing
a week
for them.
before Black Friday. Black Friday's late in November.
Yeah, and I don't agree with. I mean, if they went like November 15th, like everybody else does, that would be an appeal. But I think it's too close to that day when everybody's going to wait because they're going to see what the sales are. And a brand new title like that is not going to be on sale. But somebody who walks in to see if the new Mario game's on sale will find 15, 20, 30 other games that are on sale that they'll get instead.
That's kind of what I was actually going to go with, is that there's just going to be so many people waiting to 1 week later spend thousands of dollars at stores for everything that's going to be on sale. And I think
the
it
general
will miss
public's
out
not going to realize
week one.
that a
I mean,
brand new
it's still
title's not
Mario.
going
It's
to be
going
on
to
sale.
sell.
The new Assassin's Creed will be on sale.
Yeah.
The new NBA Live will be on sale. They're going to go for those because you don't
You
just
get like
you don't-
4 games.
when you're
for
a kid.
the
You don't
price
just
of,
list one
not
game.
that,
Yeah.
You've got a list of 15, 20 games, and as a parent or a shopper, when you're shopping for somebody, you're going to look to get the most impact for your dollar during a holiday sale like that. So, are you going to buy the one more expensive game, or are you going to get 3 cheaper games?
Right. That's why I think
it's going to.
It's still going to sell, but week 1 is going to be a little bit. It
A
could have
little
been
rough.
better if they, picked out a
the
better
core.
week.
The core will jump on it, but I don't think it'll help push any new units like a Mario title should.
Right. Now.
I don't think it matters at all. Not one bit. It's different when it's like, okay, for just the quickest example I can think of. If you're a game like Homefront, you want to stay very, very far away from a game like Call of Duty because you will get overshadowed, exactly what you're saying. There's nothing like Mario. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to go to the store and be like, oh, Mario, but it's $60, let me get this instead. If you want Mario, you're going to get Mario. They can release any of the 365 days a year. Nothing's going to overshadow it.
I just think with so
They
many...
can release on Call of Duty Day. It doesn't matter. Because people, if they want both, they'll grab both, or they'll just get Call of Duty, or they'll just get
I can only
Mario.
buy one: Call of Duty Ghosts or Mario 3D World.
I'm just saying, if you're a big Mario fan, you'd go with Mario. You'll get Call of Duty next week.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It makes sense what you guys are saying with an
Yeah.
awful lot of titles. I just don't think it matters with Mario.
So one game that I think it really does matter, and this was the biggest head scratcher that I think went under the radar for a lot of people. Retro Studios, the only Western developer that Nintendo has, they made Metro Prime 2, 3. They did Donkey Kong Country Returns, and they did Mario Kart 7 for the 3DS. Their new game is another sequel to Donkey Kong Country Returns. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze launches on December 6th.
One of the few December games of all time.
That is kind of typical for Nintendo to have a December release, though.
At a price point of, by the way, $49.99 again. For
This game looks excellent,
it does,
but we just got a Donkey Kong.
yeah.
Like if you look at like comment sections and stuff, people were asking these guys to do everything but Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And then they released
like Rockstar.
they announced another Donkey Kong. It's like
Rockstar coming out with Max Payne 3.
yeah, when nobody was asking.
Nobody asked for it.
Like Donkey Kong. First of all, the $50 price point for this game seems. It's like, oh, nice. It's discounted to an extent, but like, does that say something? Like, I mean, why is it only $50? Like,
Yeah, is it a less quality game? Is it just levels that they didn't use? What's the case?
Yeah, the Wii version of Donkey Kong Country Returns came out in 2010, so it has been 3 years, but that version just got ported to the 3DS 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But the price point and the release date, it seems, I mean, it's after Black Friday.
Yeah.
Why not just launch on Black Friday if you're going to do that?
Or just have all of them come out 22nd.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
What advantage do you have? Are people going to wait for this game?
For a Donkey Kong, no. If it was a Mario, and I know I'm kind of going back on what I said, but it would be far enough away. You got another paycheck under your belt, or whatever the case may be. A Mario game, a Zelda game, Smash Brothers can launch in December. Donkey Kong is a great title, but in the spectrum of Nintendo, it's not a AAA.
It's a tier 2.
Exactly.
It's like a Pikmin kind of.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not
Exactly.
it's not the face of Nintendo. It's not a system seller.
That's the problem.
It's an enhancement game.
It's the attachment games. That's like the 4th or 5th game you buy, not the first.
Exactly.
It's not going to sell units, and so when people are buying Wii U's, maybe for Christmas or a Christmas gift, like a lot of people do their shopping Black Friday or that first week.
Yeah.
Why is this game not there? Maybe as we get closer, they'll say that you can buy a digital version or something. I don't know.
What I know that Nintendo has been very adamant about trying to pull off, because they did have a severe drought in software recently. What they're trying to do is have a major game come out once a month. Whether or not that can end up screwing them, they do need something in December, and this is the one that they elected to do. I agree both these titles should be out before that, but you also don't want to release... I mean, most of the stuff coming for the Wii U is a Nintendo first-party game. You don't want to have 3 of your studios fighting in the first or second week of November and then incur another drought for the next 3 months because you kind of threw all your eggs in one basket. It's better to... I think there's like faults to what they're doing, but I understand that they want to spread the wealth. Like, you want to just have like October, this is our game. November, this is our game. And unfortunately, December, after majority of the shopping's been done, this is our game.
And I could be wrong, but I believe the Mario Collector's Edition that came out for Wii came out in December also.
The All-Star one, right?
Yeah.
It was very limited.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
was
sure.
awesome.
but that was a December release. Again, in my mind, when you have 2 games that to the general public are similar, they're considered platformers. You're gonna follow your flagship with a B title? I would kind of switch them. Put out Donkey Kong first, and then Mario.
I'm of the belief that if you're going to put Mario out on November 22nd, Just throw Donkey Kong in February or something.
Exactly. It's too similar, too close, and I understand they want something every
4
month.
months since the
but
port.
they can still shuffle their lineup to kind of spread them. I mean, you've literally got two Nintendo platformers within 3 weeks of themselves.
The problem that I see with any of this is after December. Like, we know nothing. They're being extremely cryptic. We know Smash Brothers is coming in 2014.
Mario Kart is coming before the fiscal year, I believe.
No,
that's coming.
That's what I'm saying. Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, and Bayonetta 2. That's all we know about 2014.
Well, is that a bad thing?
I mean, what do we know about 2014 for most other consoles? Like, it's next gen stuff.
That's
so
different because
more,
the gens aren't even out yet. It's not horrific. It's just, it seems like you don't want to obviously show your hand. You don't want to give away everything, but we don't even know when these games are coming out in 2014. We just know they're coming out. So what if these are the 3 titles for next year for October, November, December? What are they doing from January to?
I think next year Smash is one of the holiday games next year because they're very, very low in terms of what they're saying about release date. They're not saying even first half. Mario Kart will come out soon. That'll be out.
That might be their big
6
summer
months.
game.
I think it'll be spring, like maybe March before the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Right before the end of it, yeah.
But they're going to announce a new Zelda game. They're waiting until Wind Waker is out. Probably.
You don't want to fight with yourself.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. But Nintendo, in recent years, they've waited on announcing their stuff until fairly close to release. I remember, like when Donkey Kong, even like 3 years ago, Donkey Kong, they just announced they're doing it at E3, and it came out 3 months later. Same with like Kirby's Epic Yarn. Like Zelda's the one franchise that they throw that out the window completely. They announced 3 years before it comes out, but.
And then change the entire look of the game.
Yeah, Bayonetta was a surprise, but that was just because it was a shock value announcement, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to shift gears a little bit to the handheld side of things. The Nintendo 2DS.
What was that?
The first thing I thought when I heard this was, is it April 1st again? I legitimately thought that there was a misprint in the press release that I got from Nintendo. I thought it was Nintendo 3DS price drop. But the Nintendo 2DS for $129.99, it has no hinge. It's one
full screen.
Yeah, it's actually one screen that's just blocked off, and the touch.
Yeah, the plastic gives it the illusion of being separate screens.
It's a little bulkier, just given the nature of it.
It's wedge shaped.
Yeah, it's thinner. It's not as thin at the bottom, but it's thicker at the top. So it's got that. Well, first of all, the price point, $130. Do you think it's important? Is this a good idea?
It's very important because at $129 you get that entry level handheld, and nothing else is close to that at this point. Like, you can't pick up a Vita at that price. Even 3DS is above that. So you're gonna get a bunch of people to buy that for people who want to jump in for an extra $50 less.
Oh, you're shaking your head. Why?
I would be all over this thing if it was $30 cheaper.
If it was at
$99.99.
Well, it's got to launch a little bit higher than it'll probably end up being in a year or two.
They've done it plenty of times in the past. They don't. They're smartly cost cutting by having a single screen. They don't have to implement the 3D technology in it. If they launch the system at $99, that's a whole other game for me to buy.
Exactly.
So that increases the attach rate.
It's $40 cheaper than the cheapest 3DS model, and $70 cheaper than the XL, which is
the Vita,
the one to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm speaking purely from my terms. When they announced it, I was like, oh, awesome, and then I scrolled down, I'm like, damn it. I really wanted it at $99.99.
I think it'll end up there, future sometime.
You're burning up, Tony. What is
this thing is so freaking brilliant, and it's so bad at the same time. There's so I'm of two minds of this thing.
We already had one. It's called the DS.
Yeah. Well, the thing is brilliant, and this thing is gonna fly off the shelves. $130 is an excellent price point. I agree. It could have been cheaper. Cool. It is significantly cheaper than every other dedicated handheld on the market. It's marketed toward children, but they're not the only ones that can use it. Like me, I've owned every Nintendo product with the exception of the Virtual Boy. Still do. I have everything, but I have yet to jump on to the 3DS or the Wii U. I will do so in the future, but the 3DS, I was never going to use the 3DS functionality anyway.
The 3D,
excuse me.
Yeah.
So I think a majority of gamers are like that. Maybe they use it for like 10 minutes at a time, or if a really cool cutscene comes up or something like, oh, this might look cool in 3D, but then you just go back to switching it to 2D anyway. So this is perfect. Like, I don't want to pay for a feature I'm not going to use anyway.
That's why I like
And
it.
then you look at the thing, and you're like, oh, why did they do that?
Is it the lack of a hinge?
It might be, and it's weirdly shaped, and like the like
not
I'm like I was on the verge of getting the 3DS XL anyway, and then like then you look back and you're like I don't want to go backwards in life. You started with the 3DS, and then you get used to the 3DS XL, and it's like, oh, now let's go back to the smaller screen again. It's like, no, make it bigger, and then it also looks kind of plasticky, like
Yeah.
There was some really cool.
That's probably why, because marketing to kids who might be throwing.
There was some really cool design concepts that I saw, where it looked almost like the tablet with the split screen, and they had it trimmed with different colors. It was actually kind of cool. This thing looks like a Hot Wheels ramp.
Well, it does. But when you mentioned the tablet, I actually do get the tablet vibe when I look at this thing, because
it's so big.
It's flat, it's big, and
the screen is. They set something up for another XL version of it.
Was hinges like, because that's the excuse they're using, like that.
Well, it's one screen instead of two.
Well, yeah, to cut costs, but they're a lot of what I'm hearing is that it's the hinges, like they're more likely to break. I've never.
They are the
Do
most.
they break?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. That's
That
what I
is
was
the
asking.
most common one, which is
Yeah.
probably why they
Kids,
got away with
for
it.
kids.
With
Exactly,
that
kids, yeah.
second gen redesign
slamming
of the
behind it.
DS, where it looked more like an iPod, those things broke so
The
easily.
DS Lite you're referring to?
Yeah, the
Okay.
DS. I couldn't remember what, but yeah,
Yeah.
the DS Lite so easily. If you dropped it with it closed, that hinge would crack.
Yeah, it was.
If you
very
opened it
convenient.
too far,
Are you bringing up the name?
DS Lite?
No, the 2DS.
Nintendo TDS?
Because that was the other thing I was going to go on.
I-
But
I-
I let them chime in.
really before we go any further, I don't mind the size, because if I was to get one, it would never leave my house. It would be, I would play it at home. Unless I was on a plane or something, and then I've got my backpack that I put everything in anyways, because I don't carry a bunch of stuff in my pockets.
Going on that way, it's too big to put in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's no longer a pocket
that
system.
pouch for $13
Yeah, that does not come with
looks
it.
like a purse.
Yeah, it's an accessory where you put the 3DS in it.
Mhm.
The 2DS in it.
Yeah.
So
One of my. Were you gonna go?
Yeah, because
I
that's
guess
what I
I
wanted to
would.
bring up was the name. Like, this is another thing that should. Where you are you?
Go
Is this,
ahead.
I'm probably gonna go with the
it's
same thing.
it's mind-boggling. Like why they elected to go this route. It's cute and it's funny. It's like, oh, the 3DS
It's
without the
hilarious.
3D. Oh, yeah, let's go to 2DS. This is going like they think the Wii U was a bad naming strategy.
So I was gonna go
like when you go to the store and you buy a brand new 2DS and you're like, where are the 2DS games? Well, there's actually no 2DS games, but it does play all the 3DS games as well as all the DS games. You're just like,
And it goes back to what
people
you
are
were
going to
saying.
be like, what?
It goes
Mind
back to what you were saying.
There are no 2DS.
blown.
There's no 2DS games.
When we were referring to the Xbox One and the 360, people are going to think that the new system is the old one.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Well, I think that's a little different because this is their third product ever in the video game
But
world.
generally
Nintendo's
speaking,
had
when
20?
you tack on like you put the number 2 in front of it, you're going to think the 2 is older than the 3, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. You see DS games,
Uh-huh.
you see 2DS console, and you see 3DS games.
yeah, chronologically.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And like, what do you do if you're not in the know and you're not
Just
sitting there
wasn't
like
bring up
like
because-
if like
You bother the
the
GameStop
people that
employees.
are watching this show,
Yes.
you guys are on websites, you're in the know, you see what's going on in the video game realm. We're the minority. There's an awful lot of people that just walk in the
Millions.
store, see something, and grab
And
it, and they grab it,
millions.
and then they go back the next week and look for the 2DS wall. There's just nothing
There will be millions and millions of people who are confused about what the Wii U is.
The only thing that I could see is if they changed around packaging or in like a retail setting, changed the marketing to reflect 2D, 3D. You know, like the same section, 2DS, 3DS. You know,
because they did such a good job from the Wii to the Wii U.
You know.
There are millions of people who have no idea what the difference between a Wii and a Wii U is. I have still people who have no idea what the difference between a DS and a 3DS is. I have people who don't know what a DSi game difference is from a DS to a 3DS. This is blowing it even further.
Would it have been more complicated if they would have dropped the name totally and just called it like the Nintendo Pocket or what? I don't know.
Nintendo needs to get rid of their naming department. Whoever's in charge of it needs to stop.
You need to fire them immediately.
Right now.
All the marketing too at this point too.
Like most of the stuff was essentially the same, but redesigns. But they've been doing this for.
And they're all still on the shelves.
The last decade,
they're all on the shelves.
They had,
still.
They had the original DS and the Lite, and they kept going, and the DSi, and then you had the 3DS, and they keep building on that. Like, I understand it's the same family, but it's confusing.
3DS was not really the same family. It was a new system with backwards compatibility. So I had their opportunity to change there. But.
Like, the reason Xbox and PlayStation give up backwards compatibility is for crap like this. Yeah, for the poor moms who are trying to figure out what their DSi game.
It's like, don't worry, we're starting fresh.
I
understand it. I'm gonna go home now.
So now the idiotic decisions here by Nintendo are followed up equally with like brilliant decisions.
That's what I'm saying. It's so great and so. Go ahead.
It comes in two colors.
Yeah.
There's a blue and black and a red and black, and it launches simultaneously with. Pokemon X and Y.
This thing is gonna fly. I'm telling you,
and
this thing is going to fly off the shelves.
Aren't the colors of X and Y red and blue?
It's
perfect.
This thing is cheap enough for an impulse buy. Like
exactly. So many people want the new Pokemon.
I really want to play the new.
I'm in trouble. I'm just saying.
I really want to play the new Zelda game, and if to me. There's nothing wrong with the 3DS library. There's just not too much that appeals to me. There's like a handful of games that I really like to play. And the upcoming Zelda is one of them. And that's cheap enough for an impulse buy to me. I can just be at Best Buy one day and just be like, you know what, I could do this. And then just grab it and take it home and play it.
And he gets home and opens it and that regret sets in.
But the additional $70 to do that with the XL, that's... quite a significant jump to play a couple games.
It's two full games, maybe even 3 or 4 if you get the back catalog, because you don't have a 3DS, so you're going to probably want to get.
Yeah, there's a few games that I'm upset I missed out on that I haven't been able to play yet, and I'd want to go back and grab them. And this makes it so much more accessible. Like they're saying, this is for 7 and under. This to me hits like whatever.
What's that say about us?
I'm in my 20s. That to me is it sounds awesome. Like I really want one of these things. Like it seems like the perfect dive-in point if I might not get totally wrapped up in this ecosystem, but for the 5 or 6 games I really want to play, this thing is perfect.
Really Pokemon quick. Launch day.
Red or blue?
Blue.
Blue?
Yeah. I do the blue
and black.
I'm probably going to go red because then it would match my phone.
Oh, you're getting one. You're getting one?
I'm probably going to. That's why I said I'm in trouble.
I'm telling you, this thing is brilliant.
Man, I work a part-time job.
This thing is brilliant. That's what I'm telling you, man. This thing is going to be sick.
That's what I told you. When I saw it, I was mad because it wasn't cheaper because I'm buying one.
This thing is going to be nuts.
They will sell 1 million units in that first week alone just by people who want it. I don't know yet.
So
just for people who want to pick it up for Pokemon.
Like I'm gonna end up taking money off my Xbox One to buy this thing.
Yeah. You can't even do that.
Pokemon.
I can do whatever I want.
There was, I think there was the mystery dungeon game, like the side Pokemon that nobody really cares about. But Pokemon, when Black and White came out, was just at the launch of the DS. Of the 3DS.
Yeah.
But it was a DS-only game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they released a sequel a year and a half later, the Pokemon Black and White 2. Still only for the DS.
Yeah.
So this, like, a new Pokemon game has been, like, they've been waiting for the install base. And, like,
but then they're launching a 2D system with the 3D.
Well, to be fair, there's a 3DS XL Pokemon bundle as well.
Yeah, I know.
So you pick your poison.
Yeah.
Poor moms everywhere. Jesus.
There's going to be, like, I think...
Headaches everywhere.
Well, the 3DS.
Do we have a launch date for the
October 12th.
October something.
12th.
Same day as Pokemon, whatever
It's
that
the
is.
same day as Pokemon.
It's
It's
jot
12th.
that down. So,
Give me your money, Jason. I'll hold on to it for you.
so other releases, there's a bunch of little things. There's like a Mario Party 3DS game.
Oh boy.
That one better have some online.
There's like Sonic Lost World.
Do that
there's
one
the
drunk
3DS
down on
version,
3DS.
but like nothing good other than
Tony will buy Lost Worlds if he gets it, I think, right? Because that would be the only platform that you can play the new Sonic on.
Oh, I desperately want to play that game. that
the Wii U one looks good, actually.
that's like to me so far, like Mario looked okay, but aside from that, like that's Sonic looks like the best to me. That looks like the absolute best game that's coming on the Wii U
Raymond?
for some time.
Raymond?
Raymond's coming everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well, that Rayman. Well,
I'm actually most excited about Rayman
I-
on the Vita. I think that's going to be the coolest version.
I'm excited about Rayman's reviews because.
They're amazing so far.
Are they out already?
All the physical they're previews.
Okay.
No, the review embargo's already gone on it.
Well,
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
are most of the reviews for the Wii U version?
No, it was a 9.5 from IGN. I believe they reviewed it might have been the Xbox copy of it.
No,
Really?
I think they did
loved it.
No, they
Was
had
it?
to have done the Wii U version.
They did the Wii U because I remember seeing the touch functionality.
I don't remember.
That game is like it was designed around the Wii U. That's why it was an exclusive, and then they like ported it.
They got scared.
They
did
had to
get
make
scared.
money.
Ubisoft, yeah, they didn't want a zombie U repeat. But
Or
so,
YouTube.
A Link Between Worlds comes out November 22nd, same day. So now, remember how you were saying they're not going to fight between Call of Duty and Mario 3D World?
You're gonna
But
fight
3D
between
World
Mario
and A Link Between
yeah.
Worlds are the same day.
Yeah.
Too many worlds here.
It's a whole lot of worlds.
So, like...
I think this is the same case scenario. If you want the new Zelda game, you're going to go buy the new Zelda game. If you want the new Mario game, you're going to go buy the new Mario game. I don't see this being an issue for Nintendo.
That I think you're overlooking a little bit is that some people can't afford both of them. Or if you're a parent and you've got your kid's Christmas list and you've got 4 kids and you can only buy one of the games for them, you have to pick.
If you can't afford them the same day, it's not likely you're going to be able to afford them if they were 2 weeks apart. Like
when you have paychecks between that, more
you
of an
could
option.
just grab.
That's just the table.
You could just grab
Scared me a little
the
bit.
other one 2 weeks later. Why do you have to buy both of them on the 22nd?
One thing Nintendo first-party games have that Sony and Microsoft simply don't have this day and age is legacy sales.
Just the folding table. We're good.
Super Mario 3D World is going to
Storming.
sell this year. It's going to
man,
sell
knock
next
over the
year.
table.
It's going to sell 2 years from now. It's going to sell 3 years from now. Like, people will buy 3D World and A Link Between, not so much A Link Between, but Mario they'll buy legacy sales. Like,
Oh man, yeah, Mario Kart on Wii sells weekly still in my store.
you don't see this
I don't
from
see that in any
like,
other game.
like a game like what were some of the best 2012 games that came out that were not annual games? Like I don't know, just something. Well, it's not really the best example.
Oh,
Something
no,
like Darksiders 2. 0 people are going to the store to buy Darksiders 2 right now, and it's been about a full year, just over a year.
Yeah.
A full year after Mario 3D World, people are still going to buy it. Like, it might sell more units, and it will sell more units in 2014 than 2013 for sure.
I think they literally last month finally stopped making some of the Mario games on DS brand new. So
Yeah.
says my Nintendo rep.
Yeah, because those are still selling. Like,
Yeah, I still getting sealed copies in for
That's
I don't even know
this
how many
is
years.
precisely
that
the
would
reason
be.
I don't see there being a problem with them launching simultaneously. I just
Zelda does, because Zelda does not have the legacy costs. Zelda does not sell like Mario does.
I think they have such a strong fan base that everybody kind of goes out and everybody that wants it is going to get it quickly.
Well, like, you gotta think, new Super Mario Bros. On the Wii sold like 25 or 30 million.
I think Mario's more of an anomaly because studios outside of Nintendo make 95% of their lifetime sales within the first 30 days.
Right, yeah. That Nintendo, the legacy. That's, I
Yeah.
don't know if I made up that term, by the way, though.
Trademarked.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Trademarked.
Legacy
New website.
Yeah.
NintendoLegacy.net.
One thing about the Link Between Worlds that's coming out, I don't know, maybe this is only exclusively for Jason, but it has the Nintendo Network button.
Yes, I was wondering if you're going to bring that up.
So online play Zelda. Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks both have online modes.
Yeah.
And the Phantom Hourglass one was fun. Spirit Tracks was awful, but nobody played them anyway.
I did. Yeah. I don't, they haven't really revealed what it is.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. The more intriguing aspect to me, at least as a Zelda fan, I don't really care about online play. Like, make that its own game down the road, whatever.
Sure.
But DLC.
Possibly. Yeah.
They did it with New Super Mario Brothers 2. They did it with New Super Mario Brothers for.
Don't go down that route.
And they've previously discussed that.
Yeah, Fire
Oh
Emblem.
man, they're whoring out Fire Emblem like crazy.
But I mean, pay $2
Weekly.
for an extra dungeon, a side quest. I would do that.
For the games that Nintendo has done DLC, it's core games. It hasn't been cheap DLC. It's
no,
been,
it hasn't been. They're like Fire Emblem is $3 per one mission. Mission might last you half hour maybe, at most. And then
$1 for 10 minutes. That's not bad. That's cheaper than a movie.
It's $3 for one map, and then you can go for about $7, $7 or $6. You get 3 of them because basically you're coming out like every week with a new one almost, or every other week sometimes. And you can like pre-buy the pack basically, and some of the time they actually have 2 or 3 going at once.
So are you saying it's not a good value?
In my opinion, no.
Okay.
I've
heard the contrary.
I think Fire Emblem's different than a majority of what Nintendo's been doing.
It would probably be.
They're
some of
leaning
them are. Some of them are good, and some of them are throwaway. And you can ask almost anyone who's still playing Fire Emblem. You have to pick and choose which ones, because some of them add cool characters. Some of them give you a weapon that breaks after 3 missions, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but outside of Fire Emblem, more or less, they've been going the Bethesda route, where they're releasing full-on expansions as opposed to
Luigi.
Yeah, as opposed to like little tiny side quests or $5 map packs. Yeah, they're doing like $15, $20 expansions, like a big part of the game. And I think I wish more DLC was like that instead of 5 smaller packs. Make one big expansion and give me that.
I'd wait.
So it's a mystery. We don't know anything about the Nintendo Network with A Link Between Worlds, but
I mean, for all we know, it could be leaderboards or something.
Yeah, leaderboards is that you get points for every Goomba.
Or like the little
Stalfos you kill. I can't believe I just said that. By the way,
we'll bleep that out.
No. Fun fact: Goombas were in Link's Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
So you saved yourself.
And Chain Chomps.
And Chain Chomps. Yeah. And Piranha Plants.
But I mean, theoretically, it could be something like leaderboards for like the little target game or. I'm just spitballing. I mean, it could be something
Link's
as lame as
crossbow
that.
training.
Yeah, with gyroscope control.
It could be something as lame as that, but more than likely it's not.
Yeah.
But my fear is they haven't said anything about it.
Some Miiverse compatibility. Like just where you can post to the Miiverse that they'll announce it for the 3DS.
Yeah, change Link into your Mii. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say no.
Oh, that just
please
I
no.
kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit just by saying that.
Keep the Mii's away.
Yeah, please.
So one of the last pieces. This is sure to stir issues on the internet. It did already. Reggie Fils-Aimé, the Nintendo of America president, was interviewed. I think this was yesterday or 2 days ago, and was asked about the launch lineups for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And you know what he responded with? Meh. And I'm going to defend Reggie here for a moment.
There was a follow-up to that.
Oh,
should we read it?
What was the follow-up?
Shuhei Yoshida from Sony.
Oh,
the funniest man.
hilarious.
The funniest man in video games.
Oh, what did he say?
This guy's
Do you know what
awesome.
it is? Do you know what he said?
He said it was. I don't have the exact quote. I'm just going off memory, but it was something
How
along
can
the
you
lines.
hate-
Yeah, he's like, how can you hate on Reggie? Meh.
No, it was on Twitter. It's how can you hate on Reggie? # meh.
Yeah. Shuhei Yoshida is the funniest man.
Is that actually supporting? Like,
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
I think Sony and Nintendo they're almost like friends because nobody's stealing each other's sales at this point. But when you take out the third party games here, so get rid of Assassins, get rid of Call of Duty, get rid of some of the
Almost the sales.
Some of the multi-platform games, like Call of Duty and Assassins, are coming to Wii U, and Batman is, but a lot of them are not. Battlefield is not. a lot of the what else? Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto skipping.
Even Gran Turismo 6 isn't going on PS4, which I think
But
is...
when you look at the exclusive games, so I don't know whether you want to lump some PS3 and PS4 together, because if you're really lumping, then we got to include 3DS and Wii U. But let's just talk next gen. PS4's exclusive list, Xbox One's exclusive list. I like Wii U's exclusive list better, because you're talking. There's a bunch of games I didn't name that have either just come out or are coming out in the next few weeks. You know, games like Pikmin just came out. Super
Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101, which Beautiful Joe, which what the hell told me last week?
Don't know
What the hell?
I don't know what
You
that
did
is.
not know what Beautiful
I
Joe
still
is.
don't. I didn't look it
Yes.
up. I totally forgot.
Yes.
That's what you're supposed to look up.
Like I facepalmed.
Andrew Dillon.
No idea.
Beautiful Joe.
You're supposed to be yelling at me.
Gotta message him halfway through the week.
I just think they're different because like with Nintendo, you got to keep in mind that this isn't Nintendo's launch lineup. This is Nintendo's 1 year down the line launch lineup, and you're comparing it to if you compare it to the Wii U's launch lineup, I think the PS4 and the Xbox One win hands down. If you go back 10 months now,
Right. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
What is launching on the PS4? Killzone is the big one. Knack is the game I like.
Infamous.
No, that's launch window.
That's off. And then you get Call of Duty and
a lot of third party.
when you look back at the Wii U's launch
There's a bunch of
lineup,
indie games launching with it too.
and first of all
War
these
Thunder.
games on
Free
the
to plays.
PS4 that are launch titles, at least the bulk of them, will have already released a few weeks earlier. Assassin's.
Other than Watch Dogs.
When you, Watch Dogs, yeah. Watch Dogs is a Wii U game too.
Yes.
When you look at the Wii U's launch lineup, it had Call of Duty. Nobody cared about it. It had Assassin's Creed. Nobody really cared about it. It had old games that
40 people playing Madden.
There was the
Darksiders 2.
nobody cared for
Madden.
FIFA, Madden, for Mass Effect, for Batman. So nobody cared about those. But just it came out with Nintendo Land. It came out with Zombie U. It came out with New Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They're three big titles right there. That was their launch titles. Like forget Ninja Gaiden and all these other things. Compare those three to Killzone, Knack. What else? PS4 exclusive.
I'm
before
blanking.
Christmas.
I know Xbox is better.
Yeah, but it's not that far off. I mean, as atrocious as the Wii U's launch lineup was, the problem was it was a Nintendo console. So nobody cared about Assassin's Creed. Nobody cared about Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Batman Armored.
you got Drive Club.
Like even like a game like Batman that's coming out on the Wii U, it's
Basement
not coming out on the
Crawl.
PS4. But like this gen, with Microsoft and Sony, people care about Ghosts. People care about Battlefield 4. People care about Watch Dogs. Like all these third-party games that will have released, or in most cases will have released a few weeks earlier. People will care about them. At least I think they will. Whereas they didn't on Nintendo.
I think PS4 will eventually have a lot more and higher quality games, but at the launch window, I think Xbox One is the best looking. They got Forza 5, they got Rise, they got that creator.
Sunset Overdrive as well.
Yeah, they got.
You were talking. They've
I don't
got.
think that's a launch.
That's not a launch window. That's not
No.
the one I'm talking about. That's
Forza, Rise, Killer Instinct.
still not the one.
Spark.
I'm thinking of. Spark's the one I'm thinking.
Project Spark is a current gen game though. It's a multi-gen game.
Is it?
Yeah. So like,
It's beta on 360, but it's launching on Xbox One.
To me, that's
that
the,
game looks exciting.
out of the three.
Dead Rising 3.
And
Dead
yeah,
Rising.
that's
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
To me,
That'd be good.
the Xbox One, but the problem is Microsoft's out of studios. Like they're making everything, and all they have left is Epic and 343. So that's going to fill their 2014.
Yeah.
The promising part of Sony is they own like just shy of 20 studios, and
Microsoft owns those, but you can just
They're-
throw the rares out the window and the
yeah, but Sony has good
yeah.
developers,
But,
studios,
yeah,
but they only announced 3 of their games. That means we have like 13 or 14 that are going to
Right.
compile
It's
2014.
like 180
are in development,
180
but that's
games.
not first. I'm just talking
That's
first
just
party.
overall, yeah.
Going to what you said, going to bring this a little short about Nintendo. This is 1 year later for the Wii U. I think when we look back at the Wii U's 2013 lineup next year, when we New Super Luigi and Wonderful 101 and Wind Waker and Mario 3D World and Donkey Kong, that lineup will look better than Xbox One's first-party games next year.
Very well made.
I think that will.
Very well made.
I've always
Next year they're gonna rely on Halo a lot to fill in.
Halo's a dying franchise though. It's not the same draw as 6 years ago. Like, and how many times are they gonna release like if you're an FPS fan, you're gonna probably get and you're gonna get Xbox One at launch. You're probably gonna get either Battlefield or Ghosts, and 4 months later you're gonna get Titanfall, and 3 months later you might get Destiny, and 4 months later you're gonna get
by then Halo 5 will be about,
and a month later you're gonna get Call of Duty 75.
No, they're on 76 this year.
76.
Excuse me.
It was a leap year.
Back to Modern Warfare.
I don't think Halo has the
draw.
I think it'll
It
bring
still
some
sells an
people back.
awful lot. It just doesn't have the staying power that it used to.
Right. But
Because I think 4 at that point of the console lifespan was already going downhill from the most
Halo
part.
5, if it comes out next year, is going to sell probably a third of what Halo 4 did, and it will not have the legacy sales.
There you go.
That
Trademarked.
that Halo used to have. Halo 3, I believe, came out fairly early in the 360's life cycle.
It was like a little after
2006
launch.
or
Yeah.
something.
it was a year.
Yeah, it was not far after the Wii and the PS3's launch, I believe. But that game was selling for 3 years, and people were playing it as everybody was getting Xbox 360s. That was the game to get. I don't think this is ever going to be the case with Halo ever again. So when they release on a low install base, it just won't sell.
This current generation is like, people are complaining about launch lineups, which I don't understand at all from any of these companies, because this generation is the best we have ever had by a mile. Like, if you look back to the 360, that thing sold like almost 80 million units lifetime. It came out with nothing. The first year
Call of
was
Duty 2.
the first year was barren. It only kicked off once you hit that stride where Elder Scrolls 4 and Gears of War 1 came out, and that's when you finally had a game to play. PS3 was awful. There was nothing for like 2 years.
Metal Gear Solid 4 was.
That was and the same thing with what?
No, go ahead.
But
waiting to get my thought out.
But you look now and like you were naming, the Wii U had a bunch and has a bunch in the pipeline. I don't think you're giving the due credit to Xbox One and PS4. I think they have ridiculously impressive launch lineups. Maybe not when you just break down the AAA first party game, but when you look at the launch lineup, it's very impressive on both platforms. People are complaining because they can't pick 3 or 4 games out of, I think the PS3's launching with like 30-something games. Sure, they're not all AAA, but they only got to, out of those 30 or 40 games, they only got to keep you busy for 2 or 3 months. Then you're getting Infamous. Then you're going to start rolling into 2014, and all the other games are going to come out.
I think Sony is going to follow up their launch very nicely.
Sony's ridiculous.
I think Microsoft will be all right because
none of the big developers from Sony have announced anything yet. The guys that make God of War, the guys who none of them. The guys who make Uncharted, they haven't said anything yet. These are like their middle tier guys that are releasing.
They haven't said anything.
Like I think Microsoft's gonna like. I hate to say it.
I don't think Microsoft has too much in the pipeline.
Microsoft, it to me is the first person shooter crowd, and it's I think it's turning more into the sports crowd, the EA crowd.
Well, they've always been that way. That's how the I don't even know if I can call it original Xbox anymore because it's
the original gangster.
Xbox. It was completely geared towards shooting and sports, and that's just what carried over to the next gen. I mean, that's just what they built their console on. Because I got Xbox OG originally, and that's literally what you played. There wasn't much else.
That's why I got it. I played Unreal Championship.
I've always been of the opinion that you don't judge a console by its first year. It helps.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if PlayStation 3 was that way,
exactly.
man.
Looking back in the history of games, generally, the first year, everybody's still trying to understand what they're working with.
Yeah.
I tend to judge it more by like the last 3 years of the system life, when they figured out the hardware, they figured out how to make good
Games
games.
just get better.
Exactly. I mean, Uncharted is a prime example of that. You know, they came with a concept and they did nothing but improve on it as they learned the hardware and were able to push the limitations.
So I have a follow-up question for you then. What do you think is a better console, the PS3 or the 360?
Well, see, you're asking somebody who...
Well, you're judging by the last 3 years. Can anybody?
I can answer this very easily.
Is it even a question?
Over the course of
I'm gonna agree with him on this.
over the course of the last
I already know.
over the course of the last 8 years, I've had them both nearly the entire length of it. If I take everything into account, the 360 was a better console.
Yeah.
But as time progressed, the PS3 every year got significantly better and caught the 360 and surpassed it, while the 360 flatlined.
11, 12, and 13. 2011, 12, 13. I don't think anybody can say with a straight face that Microsoft was better.
So if I look at the last 3 years, the PS3 is miles better than the 360. But if I take the entire generation into account, what did I have more fun with?
Yeah.
What did I play with
I
more?
agree with
The PS3 took so long to get the wheels
Yeah. Oh,
going
yeah.
that when you take everything into account, you have to give it to the 360.
Yeah.
I agree. Like I said, I was going to.
I agree in regards, but looking at the full spectrum of it. But I guess for me, I have. We've touched base on it. I have PlayStation Plus. I currently have 26 games downloaded on my PS3 that I don't play.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you had the time.
They just give you stuff. That's awesome.
And
That's
I
a
mean,
great
I
concept.
think that's why I like it. So it's like, oh, it's free. I'll never play it, but I'm gonna have it.
I just think when we look at Microsoft going into next year, they're just going to rely so much on the first person.
It's all third-party stuff because, like I said,
Well, they can too.
all they're hiding, because games take 2-3 years to make.
Yep.
All they're hiding is 343 and Epic. That's it. Like, I don't know what's coming out in 2014. They're going to rely heavily on third-party support, and all of that's available on the PS4.
I think it'll be okay though, because I mean, Titanfall.
It'll be
is gonna
fine.
big.
It'll be fine.
Because it's going to be. There's already hype around Titanfall, and it's 6 months.
Tony's gonna be all over that again.
And like Destiny,
It's going to be great. It's
people-
Bungie.
So I mean, they're going to be okay. It's not going to be like Wii U level of drought. Nobody is. I don't think anybody's suggesting that because third parties exist on Microsoft's platform. So they'll get.
It's almost the exact opposite of where what carries Nintendo is their first party support, and what carries Microsoft currently is the third party support.
Well, I think it carried them, especially in this country, in the United States, because of the install base.
Yeah.
But if there was no, look, where was the third party support on? Third party support was there for the original Xbox, for the most part.
There was a ton more games on the original Xbox, first party wise.
But like for every one sold on the Xbox, 6 of them sold on the PS2. So
it got smoked.
yeah. I mean, they'll still support it though.
smoked.
So if you have the system, you'll get the game. So that's all that matters really. But all right, final
Sure.
thoughts.
Should we wrap it up with Nintendo then?
That wasn't the topic.
We'll just kind of go back. Okay, come on, kick us off.
Kicking us off with their announcements. 2DS, you're totally going to be confusing more people. I'm so sorry for people sometimes.
Do you regret getting your 3DS and not waiting for this?
Do you use your
no.
3D functionality ever?
No, never.
Exactly.
I tried it out for, again, you
Novelty,
said
novelty.
certain cutscenes in Fire Emblem, I'm like, wow, this looks amazing in 2D. And then I'm like, well, maybe 3. I'm going to turn you back.
And we're gonna put it back down.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't have a really good look to it. I really think the 3DS still has a better overall look to it. I was very happy when I got it. I used basically pocket change to get my 3DS that I kept storing away.
Let's go to pocket
Pocket
change.
change,
I just carry around $180.
Well, no, I mean,
pocket change.
coming home from work, throwing that 20 cents in there, yeah. So,
He literally went in there with a jar.
yeah, just take it. But I think the launch or the games that have come out this year are far better than they were last year. I think that they will have even better, for this upcoming spring when you get some more Mario Party and.
Did you really say Mario Party?
I love Mario Party. Just kidding.
That comes out this year for the 3DS.
I think he's talking about the Wii U.
I'm at the Wii U version,
No.
which will come at some point. You got that?
Well, Wii U Party is coming out this year for the Wii U.
This is true. They
$50
got
with a Wii Remote Plus.
So, I mean, they have.
That's how bad of a game it is.
Yeah, it's the Wii Play of this generation.
It'll be better than that. But
It should be. I mean,
Why does the 2DS take 3D pictures?
because
Well, you can't view them.
But you can send them so that it's part of the 3DS ecosystem.
I think it's a good strategy of having the entry level pricing on it. I completely agree that it's a good start. I think it leaves them a lot of room to do a price drop for or sale or anything like that to help get them out a year or two down the line or whatever, drop them to the 99 or whatever you would like. And overall, I think they're in pretty good shape for this holiday. So especially with the Zelda price drop and the system and all the other good stuff.
Jason?
Can I have it for $100?
Yeah.
Wait like 2 years. 2 years.
No, I don't want to wait that long. How about what if I buy
Pocket
a
change.
Wii
Get
U
$30
and a 2DS, $300? Sounds good to me, right? Where's my package deal?
Only if one of those falls off a truck.
Yeah.
You never know with the way I do things. You never know.
Sketchy. I want to run into Jason in the dark alley. Because I try to sell you something.
I'll try to buy something from you.
They try to buy something. Yeah, there you go.
I still, unfortunately, I still have to wait for the Wii U. Price isn't quite where I want it, and the game that I want isn't there yet, which is a new Zelda title, not a HD remake. I'll probably end up popping on the 2DS though.
To me, there's not much to say with the 3DS and the 2DS that I haven't said already. These things are selling like crazy, and the 2DS is just going to make even more sales come about. The Wii U, there's still a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of uncertainty. I think it's really going to hit its stride after a real price cut. I mentioned earlier that this is just kind of like a de facto pack-in of... You could have bought a Wii U for $300 already, and nobody was getting them. You know what I mean? And selling them for $300 is essentially the same thing.
Yeah,
I just think it's like the thing is the 3DS struggled greatly when it was priced too high, and as soon as they found that sweet spot, they flew off the shelves. And I'm confident the Wii U will do the exact same thing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing.
When it hits the proper price point, and unfortunately, the $300 is not it. $50 is not what was holding people back from buying this. When you're $50 is a lot of money when you're talking about $50. When you're already spending $300, an additional $50 isn't what was holding people back. I think a lot of people are waiting to see what happens with the PS4 and the Xbox One, and once the storm settles, probably sometime late spring or early summer, I think the Wii U will finally start hitting its stride when the second price cut comes. I think a lot of people would feel more comfortable
in the Mario Party
with a low $200 console. The fact of the matter is, still to this day, whether you agree with me or not, it's nearly factual. The Wii U is just a little bit more powerful than the PS3 and the Xbox, and you can pick those up for $200, and they both have over 1,000 games available for them.
The Wii U,
$250.
$250.
The Wii U is a little bit more powerful. It costs an additional $100 now. Used to be $150 over those two, and there's like 60 games, most of which are passable.
If you count the PS3 library, you got to count the Wii. The Wii library has.
Oh, I was just saying Wii U.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that they need to come down a little. Like, I know why they're not doing it, because they don't want to take losses. You don't want to give these things away, because if nobody buys software, if they're just buying if they like said price cut, we're dropping this down to $100. Yeah. Every console they're selling,
Microsoft.
Every console they're selling, they're losing $150, $200 out of Nintendo's pocket. And it works well if you buy a ton of software to make up for the depleted sales. That's where they'll get your money back. But if they just hand these things out and nobody buys the software anyway, then they're just losing money. There's no reason to drop the price then. But when they have enough compelling stuff, I think the Wii U will hit its stride. I'm not as worried as a lot of people are. I just think they're ways away from where they need to be.
I think on the 3DS front, I think there's a lot of false information on the 3DS in general in terms of how it's doing. It's doing well. It's the highest selling console right now, but it's I don't know if anybody's even expecting it to be. It's nowhere near DS weekly, monthly sales, and it's like on pace to hit 60-70 million by 5 years or whatever. I think this is going to speed it up drastically to the point where it might
Do they still count it as a 3DS sale?
maybe it's aiming towards close to 100 million units instead of the 70 or whatever it was going to end up with lifetime. And I think it'll continue to do well, and I think, especially in the West, with in the U.S., I think the 3DS will explode. Still not at DS levels, but still good.
This thing's gonna fly.
The Wii U.
Once a Mario Party comes out.
I'm concerned. I'm still concerned about. I share Jason and your sentiment. It's expensive. $300 by itself.
For what you're getting.
It's still the most expensive Nintendo console they've ever released, even at a price cut. So it's too expensive. They've got a lot of good software, no great software coming out.
No Mario
this
Party,
year.
is what he's trying to say.
Yeah. So I think the price cut's going to get all those Nintendo fans that were going to get the console eventually. This might be the time they get it now. But I don't think it's bringing anybody new to the table. Nobody new is going to buy it. And I think it's going to boost sales for 4 months. And then sales will dive off.
Early spring.
January, February.
It's what happened with the Vita. They did a price cut earlier than us in Japan, and it spiked for 2 weeks. Then the people that were on the fence bought one, and the sales stopped again.
I think that'll happen here, and I don't think Nintendo has the. I don't think they have the capacity to really continue sales for the lifetime of the Wii U, where I don't think it's going to hit 30 million units anymore. I just think that's the stage it's at, and for Nintendo fans that's okay because they don't care. They'll get their first party content, and yeah.
That's what they did with GameCube. They realized into its life that it just wasn't going to do it. They put out a lot of great games for the Nintendo faithful. They weathered the storm. Nintendo's got an awful lot of money in the bank, an awful lot of money.
They make money too in the GameCube.
They're making money. They're making money every month now because the 3DS is making up for the lack of Wii U sales. But Nintendo is profitable, so they can weather a storm for a few years until the next generation comes. If in fact the Wii U doesn't ever take off, I think it will. I really do. I just think it needs a price cut. That's it.
You know what I want to see from Nintendo?
A real price cut.
If Nintendo were ever to go under, I want Disney to buy Nintendo. That would be like.
That'd be scary, dude.
It would be.
Can you just imagine?
It's a huge amount of money right there.
Scary. Dude, there'd be like Mario and Zelda movies every 6 months. Like, that'd be
Disney World,
scary.
DreamWorks
Disney
presents
You can literal Mario Kart.
Link to
Disney
the
Smash
Goomba.
You can literal Mario Kart. I like that.
Disney Smash Brothers with 750 characters.
I like it.
I have one final
I think it
thought.
should happen.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Nintendo still has to fire their naming people.
Then we could finally have in Smash Brothers. This is bringing back the FwdCompatible. Ganondorf versus Darth Vader.
Dun, dun.
I'm still upset about that contest from like a year ago.
It'll never happen again.
I forgot all about that.
When I'm way too long.
You went to 32
All right, well,
All right. Anybody else have anything they wanted to chime in with? All right. This has been episode 82, part 2. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place.
Go buy Mario Party. Play it. Play it till your eyes bleed.
Man,
What's wrong, Tony?
I just can't pass this water temple. I just can't.
Fear not, gamers! Moss is here!
Wow, Moss is here! He's kind of a big deal.
Yes, I am, and I'm here to tell you to check out ZeldaDungeon.net for all your Legend of Zelda needs. Stuck on a dungeon?
Uh-huh.
We've got you covered. We've got the most extensive Zelda walkthroughs on the net.
Wow.
News, previews, articles, walkthroughs, and so much more. ZeldaDungeon.net. And don't forget about the entire Dungeon Gaming family. Gen Game, Pokemon, Darksiders, we've got it all. And if we don't have it, You don't need it.
Thanks, Moss!
You're welcome.
Whoosh.